Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brienne and this is Bree's Knits. Today I am doing a little bit of a late March podcast, I guess. Last week was a little hectic for work, so I didn't even have time to try and film, not even during my lunch because I was mostly just tired. And don't worry, I've been thinking about all of you and like really wanting to share because then things just pile up and then I don't feel like sharing anymore. But I do have some things for you guys. I have some finished objects. I have one whip, one acquisition, sorry. One acquisition, and then I have a future plan / I also need help figuring out another future project, so that's nice. I guess I should just get into it. I don't know, it feels weird, like it's almost like when you haven't filmed in such a long time, it's all of a sudden you're kind of camera shy. It does feel like, riding a bike where you're just going back to normal, but then at the same time not really. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's kind of more like I haven't talked to my friends in such a long time and I don't know if we're still friends because I don't know how they feel about me anymore. Yeah, so that's what it feels like. Anyway, I decided to get all dressed up, or like mostly my face done, because even though I'm starting to get some energy back, I don't really ever feel like doing like too much on my face for work because I'm tired most of the time. And then even when I work from home, there's really no point. So most of the time I just do my eyebrows because I like to make sure they look like they're in place. But today I'm wearing my paysan blouse from Problem Knitwear. The design is made by her, but the yarn is Explore Knits Fibers in the colorway Roma, I believe. I obviously didn't know about helix knitting when it comes to knitting with variegated colors, but you know what, I actually don't mind it. I think a lot of one skein was maybe like majority of the body, and then another one, as you can tell, was mostly for the arms. So I think maybe next time I might switch some of the skeins out, but honestly I don't really care as much. I do care a little, but not too much. Like once it's on me already, I don't really care. But yeah, that's about it. I was also sick last week. I thought it was allergies. Then I realized, like, hindsight, I heard my boss coughing in her office, just like like coughing, when we were both planning a really big meeting. My hair is like everywhere. I'm like looking at the viewfinder because I've been really weird about my hair. Anyway, I'm still have the lingering cough, but it's like it just gets triggered by random things. But no, like a week ago, I think, yeah, literally a week ago, I heard my boss coughing in her office, and I had already been around her for a bit, and I didn't realize that she was sick, because most of the time I have my door closed, she has her door closed, and then at work, like if I have to go into the office, I have my AirPods in, and I'm usually listening to a podcast, so I'm like, don't really hear her, except for that part of the night. I was compiling all these things and collating a ton of papers manually, so it took a while, and then I just hear the in her room. So that was nice. And then after that, like the next after I came home the next day, I went to work again. It was Saturday. It's like one of the few Saturdays I work. It was like 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. When I got home, I just fell asleep. I was so tired. And then the next day I wake up and my throat is like not feeling the greatest. It just feels very like there was a ton of phlegm and it kind of hurt, but it wasn't too bad. And then my voice started going away. And then on top of that, it was just a very stressful week. So it felt really hard to get rest to try to heal, really. And I had a big event happening, and well, big for me because it was my first time putting it together on my own basically and coordinating the people to help and all that jazz. So needless to say, I was stressed and sick last week. And I'm glad I woke up this morning feeling a ton better. I do still have, like I said, it just kind of like a tickle in the back of my throat. I don't know I don't think that's allergies really. It just feels like if I talk too much or if I whisper or I don't know, start coughing. So, but I feel a ton better, which I'm really happy about. I don't want to be sick for too long with child. Not although I read that even if you have like a cough and it's not like a serious infection, which thankfully it wasn't, the baby doesn't get or feel anything because they're protected. So that's cool. Anyway, I guess I should just get into it. I was feeling kind of insecure about just jumping into it at like 1 minute, but now I'm like, okay, I've been talking for some time. So let's go on to my finished objects. So the first finished object is this little onesie that I made. This one is the spring duo romper. Although I did do the bottom part a little funky, like the doesn't necessarily line up together. Do I care? No, I think I made this in the newborn size, but I just made it solid. The yarn is a bamboo viscose blend from a craft store that excuse me, just from a craft store. It's just a generic bamboo viscose blend. I did say this. I'm coughing, I'm yawning. I feel so rude. Anyway, it's just a generic yarn. I'm coming to find that I hate knitting with bamboo. I like the results, but I don't like knitting with it just because it's very splitty, and apparently that's just the nature of it. I've also tried True Boo by Lion Brand, and it is very nice. I love how soft it is, but I hate working with it. I hate how careful, I guess, you have to be, which I guess if I was to use bamboo again, I would have to be like very, very mindful and like just focusing on it, because it's just not like your needle gets caught in it. It doesn't matter what kind of needle you have, but yep, just have it in this basic olive green. I really like Sandra's, I didn't even say who it was by. I'll write it down on the screen, but I really like Sandra's patterns because she has each size on the instructions color coded, and I think that's really nice. I do have an iPad, so I use OneNote for excuse me. I use OneNote to help me with my with reading my knitting patterns, and I usually highlight the size myself and kind of go through the instructions and highlight everything that needs to get done for my size and like the stitch count I should have by a certain point. And yeah, but I appreciate that she kind of does that already for you. Instructions are super easy to follow, and the patterns always turn out really great. So yeah, I think this one took me a bit just because I got tired of knitting back and forth so much. But I finished it eventually. And then the next one, I think I need to grab my iPad so I can remember what the names of these are. Excuse me. Okay, so the next pattern I have is this one? Okay. Yeah, so the next pattern I have is a free pattern. It's called Good Old Raglan by the Twisted Knitwear. And I did little stripes on them. So this is my little pride and joy. It's so cute. Look at that. Oh, I love the color combo. Don't look at the really gross transition in the stripes, but look, it's so cute. Forgot what size. Okay, I did the 3 to 6 month size because I think he'll be big enough by then to wear this. The yarn, the brown yarn is a Rowan soft alpaca, I believe. I got it at my local yarn store a year and a half ago or something like that, because I had intended actually to use the yarn I used for the sweater for a beanie for myself. I was going to do a hipster hat. I forgot who I saw on Instagram do these same colors, and I loved it with the hipster hat, and I really wanted to make it for myself. And then as time went on, I was like, I don't really wear I do wear beanies when it gets cold, but I've only worn the big chunky beanie because I feel like it looks good with my hair type, if that makes sense. Because if I have small beanies with the lighter yarn, it kind of gives me very much like skater boy vibes that doesn't really know how to, I don't know, kind of like everything just kind of gets smushed here, right? And then it kind of just goes at the bottom. And that, that could be a look for some people. It's not very much a look for me. Maybe because I'm also used to having like my bangs around, so maybe if I just like brush my hair back, it'll look good. But basically, I obviously didn't use the yarn for that. I used about a skein and a bit for this size, which I only really had 2 skeins of that, so perfect. But it's so soft. I love it. It's so cute and it's so little. And I know how to do stripes, right? Like I've done stripes before. But for some reason, doing this sweater, I totally had the mom brain, pregnant brain moment where I just didn't know how to like change colors basically. So I cut the color and added a new one each stripe. So it is definitely bulky at the changes, but you know what? I tried my best. And I thought, okay, because I was going to do it like I was just going to carry the yarn up, right? And I thought that was right. Maybe I just needed to ease up on my tension because I did it at the beginning. I don't know if you can tell. It's just the beginning, I carried it. But then I got really insecure about it and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna cut the new pieces in and like just let it be. But then even with weaving it in, it turns into that. And then it's very chunky in some parts, but thankfully the baby won't really care. But while working on this, I realized I really like the inside. Like maybe just the garter stripes. Like I think it looks really cute. Like, you see? And I think it's like that for any color change. I think it looks really nice. They became really obsessed with that part. um, but like I said, this pattern is free. It has from size 0 up to a year, and then it has no, actually 0 up to 14 years. So if you have a baby, you can keep making, or a kid, you can keep making this sweater pattern up until they're 14. So it is, I think, really great, and the instructions are really good for it being a free pattern. Because most of the time free patterns are like limited instructions, but it's really nice. And even on this one, it's just a raglan. It's not a, I mean, on hers, she does show like the stripes, but she doesn't, I guess in my mind, because it's free, like she doesn't have to tell you like, okay, if you're doing stripes, start here and do it for these many rows or whatever, but she does. So I really appreciate that. And it is short rows. You do add a little bit of short rows to it, as you can tell, and have that little extra in the back of the neck. But yeah, I really loved making this. It's very cute, fast. I think I did it within a week or something. I'm starting to track my stuff on Ravelry, but I just didn't feel like pulling it up right now. Okay, so that's about it for my finished objects. The whip I have is for me. Anyway, so the whip I have is for myself. And you probably saw, yeah, he saw a little bit of it right now, which is fine. I really felt like after making my little baby something that I wanted to make myself something. But I thought I need to make something, like if I want to wear it right now, I need to make something with a little bit of extra ease, kind of like the paysan. It's like pretty flowy for the most part, but also cropped because the belly. And the belly's gonna keep growing. And then also something I can wear afterwards because I'm not always gonna have the belly, right? So I was looking through my Ravelry to see what inspired me and what would work, because obviously I also want to make tank tops and such, but I am not in the season to be trying them on and seeing if they fit. Except for maybe Look at My Holes by James Watts, but I don't really feel like that's missing in my wardrobe personally. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wait for all of that stuff. So I was looking at Fabo Knitwear because I love her patterns, and she has the Marseille sweater, right? Marseille jumper, whatever. But this is my whip. I really like the neckline. I really like the shoulder shaping. I think it's very cute because it's supposed to be very like flat on the shoulders and then puff sleeves, right? So I'm nearly done with one sleeve. I actually started this, let me see. This one I can pull up on Ravelry for because I don't recall. Oh, this isn't the Marseille. It's the Pigalle jumper. Sorry, this is why I need my Ravelry open. So, Pigalle jumper. There's like a bit of the shaping at the neck. It's not too much. This one I am carrying my yarn for the stripes. So I got this little thing going on in the back and on my sleeves as well. A lot cleaner. I started this the 19th of March. I've taken a lot of breaks. I started it technically the 17th, but then I realized I had made a mistake. So I ripped back, and I had made a mistake once I was fairly well into, I think I was probably doing the short rows already. and I just couldn't get over the mistake. So I ripped back a ton. I have used 2 skeins so far, one of each color. Try to see what else I need to say about this. Oh, the color, the yarn. The yarn is from Explorer Knits and Fibers. This is from her Ireland collection. So the blue is Innismore. There we are. This is the blue. When I saw it, I thought it was absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. Is it very spring color? I don't know. You tell me. And then the taupey color is called Woolly. So these are the 2 skeins I have left. And like I've mentioned already, I'm almost done with this sleeve. But I'm really nervous of running out of yarn for the next sleeve. So part of me wants to just kind of hold it or finish the sleeve and then go on to this one, see how much I can do. And if I don't have enough yarn, then I can rip back from this and we can just make it like half sleeve or something. But yeah, like I said, I've used so I purchased 4 skeins basically for this jumper. I'm making a small in order for that to happen because the Pigalle jumper has a lot of ease to it, a lot of positive ease. If I had made a medium, it would fit perfect, or it would have fit fine. Definitely a ton of extra ease. I think it's like 10 centimeters. You can do 0 to 9. Let me double check. Yeah, the jumper is designed with 0 to 10 centimeters of ease over the bust, with the most ease intended for over the waist. So I think with the small, even now, I have like maybe 1 or 2 centimeters of extra ease, which is good. Good enough for me because things are changing and they're going to change after baby comes. So I think I'll be fine. I did try it on. Let me show you. So I did try it on and it is cropped. It's very cropped. But right now with the belly, the way I would have to wear it is definitely more like this. That makes sense. I can't really put it across like this. The bind off is too tight, even though I tried making it a little looser. So yeah, so it would have to be more like this right now, which I think is fine, is cute. I am going to be having a baby shower in May, which it might be too warm for this, but I don't know. Sometimes our spring, well, I mean, spring in general, you have rain, you have sun, so we'll see. So I have about this much left. When I calculated, each stripe is about 2 centimeters. When I calculated that to the centimeters that I need left, I think I had like 5 stripes left. So we'll see. We'll see if I can do it. If I win, I don't think it'll be yarn chicken because that's why I'm making the small to fit the amount of yarn I have. But I really like it. It's very, very nice. And even though the colors are tonal, feels like there's definitely like some, not variegation, but like parts of it are definitely darker and lighter. I think because it's stripes too, I don't really need to worry about helical or helix knitting because it's already basically in the piece. Yeah, this is what I have. How much longer will it take me? I don't know. I really don't know. But I started getting kind of tired of the stripes, of having to switch out the yarn constantly. So I was thinking about doing another baby knit. Um, in my what I want to knit baby, I talked about the Forest Friends, and I actually already bought the pattern. But what I need to do next is okay, so I'm in a dilemma. So the pattern calls for a 2.75 millimeter needle. I don't have that. I have a 2.5. There was another one I had. Basically 2.5 or 3 millimeter. So I was thinking, like, should I just go for the 2.5? It's supposed to be on DK weight yarn. I'm like, is the 2.5 a little too tight? But it's also like a little stuffy, so does it really matter? I think it'll be fine. Because I've heard what some people say that, with patterns like that, sometimes the needle size doesn't really matter that much. But I just don't want the stuffing to be coming out of the stitches. So I'm like, I think sizing down might be better. But also it's already such a small little toy that do I want to make it smaller? Or do I want to have it like at a 3 mil? I know, the gauge is there for a reason, but I can't justify buying that size for just the project. I mean, I probably will have more than enough yarn because I did give away or donate a lot of my acrylic yarn that I don't really use anymore. But I held back a little bit just for this pattern specifically. It was like 300 something yards for and it's only like tiny little friends of like a light brown that I bought a long time ago. And then I have scraps of gray to make like a wolf. I don't have 2 different tones of gray for the raccoon. But I'm just thinking, like, I don't know if I should be doing a smaller size needle, like the 2.5, or bigger, like a 3 point, like just a 3, just to see what it'll be like. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I guess it, like I said, just depends on the look I want. But I don't know. I'm like stuck, so I just stopped there because I'm stuck. I'm like, I keep looking at the viewfinder because I'm starting to see I'm getting close to the first cutoff of the video. But I do have, the next thing's supposed to be acquisitions, I guess. I guess I could show you before the time is up. Acquisitions, I went to my local yarn store. I really wanted to make another little romper by Sandra. I only know her name now. I'll write it down here. It's supposed to be the fall duo romper, I believe. This is just like a long sleeve romper, or onesie, sorry. And I had gone to my local yarn store with my husband to try to pick out colors because I'm like, okay, I need help. He's our son, so let's take a look at what you think is cute. But then when we left the store, I think I messed up because it has a lot of not loose fibers per se, but lighter fibers that are hanging out. So I might just end up using this yarn for something else. But I got this Barocco Ultra Alpaca Light. It's a DK weight yarn. I think I got excited because Carsley Handmade made the onesie I want to make in a Barocco yarn that was in an orange, and I was like, oh, I love it. I've been wanting to make it ever since, but I think I got cut off. Anyway, I think the one that Carsley Handmade made was the Barocco Vintage, and it was just solid. And this one, not sure if you can really tell, but it's got like, I do like the color because it's got different like it has yellow in it too, but it looks like, let me see if it looks like there's extra fibers coming off of it. And that makes me a little nervous. So I don't know if I can use, and I bought 3 of them. And it looks so vibrant, but I don't know if there's something I can make for like the future that'll require this amount of it. Let me see how many yards it has. It has 146 yards, so I was gonna do it for the 6 to 9 month size of that onesie. So I'm not sure if I should even use it or if I should just use it for an adult gift or make a little fox with it and give it to a friend or something. I don't know. But that's the acquisition. I got it already. So there we are. And then for my plans, so I'm still planning on making the little forest friend. I just need to figure out now myself what size of needle I want to make. So maybe I'll just post it on Instagram and see what you guys say. But I have a plan for myself as well in mind. I'm like torturing myself with these long sleeve shirts, especially now that it's getting warmer. Excuse me. But what I have in my hands is a Surrey sock by Sorella Yarn. It's in the color Provence. I think it was their spring tonals last year. I don't know if it's still the same this year or if it was I don't know, but this is it. Let me see if I get it out of the way and you can see it better. I actually can't tell, but it's so beautiful. I love the little variations in tone. I wound these up yesterday. I did all 3 of them, and there's just fiber going everywhere, but I really love it. I am going to make another paysan blouse. I've been wanting to make another one. I wanted it to look a little lighter. Follow Knitwear does have one mohair edition, but this is technically a sock base. I think the pattern calls for a 4 millimeter needle, but I did a gauge swatch and it's like a centimeter off, so I'm just gonna do a 4.5. And yeah, that's about it. I see my camera is about to cut me off soon, and I don't have that much more memory because I took videos on this camera, and I will probably show you in the outro too of my husband and I and my friend at the Huntington Library here in California. It's beautiful. But yeah, that's it. That's all that I have for right now. I always say that's all, but then I end up talking for like a half hour. But yeah, this is really beautiful. And I honestly kind of want to ditch my Pigalle just to use this. But I think I should try to finish the Pigalle a little bit and then go on to the baby knits. At least 1 or 2 more. At least the little characters or friends, because I think they'd be so cute. And I already bought the pattern, so kind of have to make it. Anyway, what are your guys' plans? Did you guys have anything lined up for spring, summer that you want to make? If you do, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear all about it. Okay, bye.